Hello, Bananga Vatulava. How are you? Thank you for being on UNN. Tubaniriza abali ku Facebook, tubaniriza abali ku YouTube, tubaniriza abali ku Twitter, tubaniriza abali ku mikutu gyonna abatulaba. Mwebale kubeerawo, mwebale kusupportinga UNN, mwebale kusupportinga the cause for revolutionary change. Mwebale kubeera nga muli bantu bagumiikiriza. Mwebale kubanga muteeka ettoffaali ku this revolution that we so need, we so desire for the betterment of our community, of our Ugandan society. I would like to thank you so much to being on here. Okwefiriza ka Friday kamwe. Wherever you were, good morning, good evening, good night. I welcome you all. And I pray that the good Lord, Awakuma, you have your good health. And happy new month, of course, kati tuyingidde mu February. Banange, ennaku nga zidduka, oba nammwe mukiraba? I hope so, kubanga ennaku zidduka twali mu December oba twali mu November, kati tuno tuli mu February. Wow. So time waits for no man. Of course, nga bulijjo, it's important nti tutandika ne prayer, or why it's important we start to have gratitude. We start with being grateful. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? Personally, I am grateful for all of you ababeerako every day. I am so grateful for every single one of you, whatever you are doing, as long as it's positive and it's contributing to the bigger picture. Like we know, we're all here on this planet, on UNN TV platform, or migrated to new environments or lands for growth, tuliwo for growth, for evolution. You evolve to seek knowledge, to get wisdom, to have an addition. Growth is about adding value to yourself, adding value to your family, adding value to your community. And therefore, it is important to acknowledge those we grow with. Who are those around you that you grow with? Nga bulijjo, I am mixing ngenda kutabula, English and Luganda, and I'm hoping tino mwenna muntegeera bwe mba njogera. N'abatantegeera, I really hope that you have some interpreter there or translator to help you understand this message. A message of hope, a message of adding value to yourself and to those that you come into contact with. I hope that I am adding value to you. As always, I am your host, Sophia Sebi, on the Revolutionary Spa. And what do I mean by that? I mean revolutionary self-purposeful action. Tuliwo kutwala gwengo muntu. What are you adding value to yourself? What are you being purposeful about in order to take that action that needs you to go forward, to grow, to evolve? So it's important we acknowledge each other, and what we do, we complement each other. We encourage each other. Every one of us is valuable. As Prince Chimbugwe reminded us in yesterday's program of the Federal Doctrine, I would like to extend my gratitude first and foremost to the Most High. The Most High, the Creator, for enabling us to come together in the first place. Okujawamu. Special thanks to all those that came before us, the elders, present and past. I say thanks, a special thanks to my colleagues at UNN, Prince Chimbugwe, Mrs. Wamala, Mr. Gombia, Prince Page, Desire, Gerald, Hanifa, the producers. We wouldn't be able to really bring you programs every day without our producers, without all those behind the scenes, all the team members behind the scenes. I appreciate you. I salute you. Of course, most especially all UNNians for trusting and believing in UNN's vision, UNN TV's vision. All those who continue to contribute to the Ugandan revolution, be it emotionally, practically, financially, or otherwise, you are all doing a great job. Don't let anybody say to you otherwise. All the supporters of fundamental and revolutionary change. Just to mention a few, but I cannot know everybody on UNN. If I miss you off the list, please remember it's not personal. It's not personal at all. All UNNians, Liberty FC, Unique Nubs, Jacqueline, Jackie, Georgia, Barbara, Princess Nasuna, Sumaya, Mara Caroline, Masolo Frank, Woody, Nia Pepe, La Belle de Belle, Nina Senyondo, and Miss Khan. I appreciate you all. You are doing a good job. Including every single one of you I have not mentioned, or I may not know, may not necessarily be aware of. Who knows that you are for change and paying and playing your part. You are doing a great job. I would like to thank you. Please welcome to the Revolutionary Spa. Our show today is about our moral duty. Tucha continuing our episodes about series of our mindset. Revolutionary Spy it's about our mindset. Ku mindset zaffe obwongo buno bukola butya ate obwongo butuyamba butya okugenda maaso, or contributing to the right cause, okubeera in the right environment, have the right relationships or friendships. Is it going to be a curse or a blessing, like Prince Page Weagam? Could the show this week? What you're doing, it's a cause and effect. What you do is a cause, and the effect are the consequences. You are responsible for whatever is happening to you most of the time. I know it could be controversial what I'm saying, Nayenga. We need to take some form of responsibility. And what is that responsibility that we need to take for ourselves in order to change the community around us, the neighbor, the friend, the family member? So I would like to start off, of course, with our show. I've done the introductions. I've said hello. I'm hoping that you're all blessed and you're well. All those who have, lost their loved ones, all those who are in bad health, all those who are in, father field, who are in the diaspora, home and away. Mwena abali eyo mbagaliza shwenungi ate mbagaliza n'obulamu obulungi wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as long as it's righteous, and as long as it's truthful. And first of all, you need to be truthful to yourself before you can be truthful to others. Are you being honest enough about what's going on in your life? Before you want to change Uganda or to have change in Uganda, what is it going on in your own life that needs to impact? So as I come with our presentation today, or the slides that I have from the topic that we're going to discuss, or the topic I'm going to present to you, I suppose there's not much discussion, but I hope one day we'll be able to discuss, to have a conversation, a phone call, but by all means, make a comment, I do read the comments. I do reply to at least every comment. It might be a like, it might be whatever. But as we, like I said, our topic today, Eriku revolutionary mindset, sort of our theme is revolutionary mindset. And theme, again, all throughout everything that I say, I do. It's about our mindset, because I realized, or I observed, that we as a people, our community, a Ugandan people, we need to be able to change our mindsets in order to change the environment, or the things, the effect, the consequences that we so cry about, or mourn about, or lament about. So our moral duty, our responsibility, that change, right? What is our moral duty? Our moral duty, our responsibility, that change comes when we place value in our human nature itself, not from outside. Okay, as we move along, but I just want you to just take that in. Chiteke mbongo gambe, what does this all mean? What does it all mean for me as a person, as an individual? What does it all mean? Okay, if you want to win first, go alone. If you want to grow together, go slow. Mbadde njagala kubaleetera quote eno because I so believe nti every single one of us needs a helping hand. We all need a helping hand in what we do. We all need, someone to pull us out of our challenges. So if we need to pull ourselves, each other, don't be selfish. Let's help each other. Oli mumuna yagala child care. Ngabo manyi diaspora tubeera, alone. Especially in tuli diaspora. Sometimes tubeera alone. We don't have much help or house help. You can't pay anybody because it's expensive. So if it starts with you, if you can, do help a neighbor. If you can, do help an elderly person. All those habits, those habits, all those contribute to the big picture, or to the bigger picture of us together. Of us together. I just wanted to bring you one of the quotes from one of the slave, it was one of the slave abolitionists. And his name, Frederick Douglass, he was quoted to say, those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation are people who want crops without plowing the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the roar of the waters. The struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one. Or it may be both. But it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it will never, or it never will. Maybe let me read it again so that you can really comprehend it and reflect on it. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation. Depreciate is like to lower, to dismiss ebintu ebitukosa, oba ignoring oba okudevaluinga ebintu ebitukosa. Beba abantu abaagala okukungula ebirime naye nga baagala enkuba etalimu gundi thunder, I wonder what they call it, thunder ne lightning. They want the ocean, baagala ennyanja nga etawogganya kubanga let's say amayengo ago agawoggana ne struggle gye babeeramu struggle gye tubeeramu eyinza okuba moral one, empisa oba I don't know how they call it mu nnyambeko, naye nga empisa oba n'okweyisa obulungi, having a values, or it may be a physical one, oba eyinza okuba nga oba maybe nga for instance ng'okulwana, sigambye nti kyetusupportinga naye nga that at the end of the day it might be moral one, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both, oba kibiyinza okuba byombi, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Togenda kufuna buyinza nga tobwetwalidde. Tekibangawo ate tekiribeerawo. And that Frederick Douglass was during the time of slavery in America, now fighting for the peace of the people, for the breaking free from bondage of mental. I suppose it was more around the physical. It was mainly around the physical. Kubanga tumanyi slavery, it was Black people being abused or enslaved, working on farms for the European or the white people. So I hope you really get to understand what this means, So it is easy to be of the belief that change will come without any efforts, that we can carry on as normal because whatever the injustice or pain others endure does not apply to our own situation or circumstances. Oba tebinajja mu situation yaffe, it hasn't come to our household, tebi affecting my family, it's not within my social circles or work circles or my geographical area, and you have the delusion or the illusion that everything is okay. I believe this is the most impacted group eyegamba nti this is okay, have a blind eye towards whatever is going on around us and around them. Because when change finally comes, it creeps up by surprise because they were blind to all the signs right in front of their eyes or chose to ignore. Those signs are present. They're on the roadside, they're in households, in the education system, in the amendment of the Constitution, as long as they have the idea and attitude that I am okay. It is not happening to me, so it does not exist. So the moral of this whole story, or the moral of the quote, is that you need to wake up, you need to look around you, you need to take action. You cannot keep silent just because it has not come to you, to your home, to your life, your personal life. It does not mean it doesn't exist. So many injustices. Which one are you going to pay attention to? You're going to live life as normal. For instance, look at what is happening, the world where we have this pandemic. So mandates, zigetinze scrapped with most, and for instance, the vaccination passport and having to be vaccinated as social care workers or healthcare workers in the UK situation, and Europe. Why do we think, all of a sudden they've been scrapped? But why do we think this is the case when only a few weeks ago there was insistence on mandates? You need to pay attention, question everything. Nothing is done in your favor because power corrupts. So what is happening where you are? Are you paying attention? Do you know your rights? Do you know the change in the law around, the COVID pandemic, the mandates? It's important so that you can ensure you do not put yourself or your family's health at risk without having all the facts about the vaccines, for instance. So pay attention to everything. As we move on, I just want to leave that with you. Pay attention to everything. What is it that's going on? You might say, how does this relate to the situation or liberation or revolution of Uganda? Well, of course, we are in the world. We're not outside of the world. So, ngawe tubeera ne programs zonna ez'enjawulo. I cannot always come and speak about the same things. Nga Mulangira byayogerako, nga Prince Page byayogerako. They might be similar. Nga Mrs. Wamala, Mr. Gombia, n'abalala Desire Gerald, nga bwe boogerako ku Zanji, ku this and that, ku federal doctrine, ku faith matters, n'abalala bagessi baffe, of course, abajja, that we value so much. Okay, if we move on. Naye mbadde njagala kuba wa just that. And another sort of important topic of mine, like Ngawe mbadde mbagamba, it's the collective. It's Ubuntu. I am because we are. You are because we are. It's important that we all pay attention to what goes on around us. So njagala tulabe bu video buno. There's 3 videos, very short. And I just want you to think about it. What is collective and Ubuntu is very important to our own growth, evolution. What is your say about this? It's a rhetoric question. It's not necessarily, I want a response now, but think about it every time that you come across these issues. The issues, particularly around abuse and modern day slavery, are very core to the situation we're in. Those are some of the issues that we're experiencing as a society. And they really impact on the most vulnerable people in our society.
Omuddugavu wabonaabonera ku ddungu abawala abo bonna baddugavu bannayuganda bayiseeko ssaawa zibadde nga 9 akawungeezi bali mu kubonaabona Saudi. Mulaba omwana w'omuddugavu wabonaabonera ku ddungu abawala abo bonna baddugavu bannayuganda bayiseeko ssaawa zibadde nga 9 akawungeezi bali mu kubonaabona Saudi.
Kale, of course, tugenda kulaba video yaffe ey'okubiri n'ey'okusatu ejja kujja straight after. Naye nga it just reminds us okuba nti no, I am because you are because I am, or we are because I am because we are.
Emigo nkaaga lwakunnimba tunuze eno ondaba bulungi. Emigo nkaaga ey'emu, ezo 2, ezo 3, ezo 4 ezo 5 ezo 6 ezo 7 ezo 8 ezo 9 ezo 10 ezo yakalya 10 abuzaaga 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 abuzaaga kunimba nze tebanimba dani nsanvu kati ebula 5 abiri mwemu mubiri musatu munya mutano mumukaaga mumusanvu mumunana mumwenda asatu abula.
Y'all see this nasty man right here? This man is a pastor. He went to Uganda on a mission trip in 2019 and essayed a 14-year-old Ugandan girl. Now, on top of that, he has 9 children, 2 of them being adopted from Liberia and 1 girl adopted from Uganda. His name is Eric Tuninga, and he lives in Milledgeville, Georgia. He was a pastor at a church in Milledgeville, Georgia. He's taken several mission trips, and there is no telling how many people, how many children he has essayed in his lifetime.
Kale, do you know it's very, sometimes you lose sort of what to say. Obulako ebyokwogera kubanga all those scenarios, however different, they are from abuse. They are from just how we do not, I suppose, maybe take care of each other enough. My personal opinion, maybe to take importance ku bintu ebirala ebitalina kuba important. And we leave out the things which is our human beings, which is our neighbor, which is our children, which is abaana baffe, baneighbor baffe, bamama baffe, the most vulnerable people, abantu abasinga okuba nga bali vulnerable beetaaga obuyambi okukuuma, to protect our children, our women. I am not at any one point saying that abantu bonna, including men, are not important, but most of the time abuse wojiraba, where abuse comes, it takes the most vulnerable kubanga the abuser thinks that they have power, and through our nature as women, we are vulnerable to begin with. We are vulnerable human beings because we are very emotional human beings. We are reliant on those as God made it, those who are supposed to protect us, who are supposed to be the men by nature. You might disagree with me, and that's okay. Everyone has their opinion. I am bringing these videos not because njagala kuteka sira ku a particular issue, na yet this is how our society wegenda. This whole thing of us being the victims, and we continue to be victims because we allow people to come in to rescue us, whereas we have the duty, we have everything inside of us, ourselves. It's all internal revolution. It's not necessarily outside of ourselves. So modern day abuse coming in all forms. It can be, for instance, policeman akuba omukyala gwasanze ku luguudo n'amukuba emiggo, but forgetting that is someone's mother, that is someone, that's the woman. The woman is the sacred thing or being or creation. Modern day slavery issues, what is common in these videos is the woman. Those going to Arab, countries are being enslaved, even when they probably don't think that they're being enslaved because they think they're getting paid. Nowadays, modern day slavery is that someone will lure you into a whole new world with the idea that you are going to get paid. I am helping you. It will come in the form of a missionary wanting to protect our children. What happened to us, our community in Uganda? What happened to us in Uganda to be able to say, we are going to help thy neighbor? The child being abused by the missionary, the child is female. I know it happens to boys too, or men, but the particular example I'm giving, I'm not dismissing what happens to everyone, men, male, anyone. It can happen to anyone. But in these particular videos, the examples I'm giving are the most vulnerable members of our society, us, the women. Modern day slavery issues, the higher percentage of modern day slavery is for us women. Why do you think that they don't necessarily employ men as house managers? Kubanga men, maybe they are not as vulnerable as us. They can fight back. A child, a vulnerable woman, cannot really fight back. And it's all because, physically, and not that we're emotionally, weak. We are more than strong emotionally, but physically. What is common in these videos is the woman, those going in the Arab countries or Arab world, the child being abused by the missionary as if, like rescue them. The child is the victim. They need to be adopted. All of those things. What happened to the extended family? What happened to collectivism, Ubuntu? The domestic violence victim, a female, again, a woman. It's a reminder that you cannot do it alone. We are all connected to each other, Ubuntu. We all have a role to play. Once again, I referenced Paul Chimbugwe's show yesterday. Those who shared, these were all individuals who were not related to these victims, but through their actions, I am also passing it on, or I'm also bringing it here. So I thank you to all those who took the videos, but why would someone stand there, take the video anyway, in the first place? In most cases, I mean, we appreciate, because this is really good, because it can go along. Social media is powerful nowadays. We are all valuable members of society. Woman, child, man, all human life is sacred. So imagine, what these videos remind us, and I'm hoping they remind all of you, that if you ignore to look after your own, someone else will. Your family member, you see abuse going on. Imagine that child who's around the corner, on the corner of the house, looking at mom being disgraced like that. And this is a reflection of the society that we're living in. If you ignore your beginnings, for instance, men out there, the abuser out there, it can be women too, actually. Now, this example, you, the man out there, the mother, the sacred vessel that nurtures life, the embryo, then carries it for 9 months, whole months, and brings life into the world. You are abusing God. So don't lie to yourself that you are of God. You are not. Evil is the absence of good. By not being good to your wife, to your partner, to your child, it is evil. It's you don't have good. The higher being, the creator, whatever you may call it, made woman sacred because it's the vessel that carries life, that carries this human vessel that you have, that body that you have. Imagine if it was your mother being bitten like that. And I've seen many other videos. So thank you to my friend who shared this through WhatsApp. I really appreciate that. My view is that we all live our values. We all live native lands, homes for pastures new. Who are we leaving at home to look after our children, our family? Are they grandparents that we're leaving? Are they the mother, the father, the stranger, the friend? Imagine, in your absence, who is left to take care of your place, your role? To all the mothers, all the women, who are you leaving to, who go to seek pastures new? Or even the men, in fact, you leave your children behind to go and make life better. But who are you making life better for? First of all, between you and another person, that's the wealth that you need. We all need each other to step on each other to resolve our challenges. Why not butter trade even? That's what we used to do long time ago. We all have God-given designated roles in society. If one role is missing in daily life, just like the puzzle you see on screen, you will see on screen, if one puzzle is missing out of the whole, that will not complete the picture. I am because we are. If one role is missing in daily life, something or someone else will fill that gap. Something. Is that person a predator, like the missionary coming to save? Is that thing not good, like maybe, drugs or alcohol? Or even giving up your life to just say, I'm willing to be enslaved. And remember, slavery is not only physical, it is emotional and psychological. You can believe it or not, something will fill the space, the void of your role. I know because I have lived it. I know that when my parents were not there, they went to, seek pastures new, or for some reason, political or economic, there was a void. There was a void. There was a role missing. The aunties, the uncles, the grandparents really did not fill that void. One person cannot do it all. A single parent or carer cannot be everything to a child. It would be unfair for society to expect them to. Going against the natural laws, God's intended purpose of creating them both, man and woman, He created them. I am not here to preach by all means, but my point is to bring attention to our current condition. We are going away from our motherland for pastures new, with the aim to earn money and return home in the hope that we will not need any more. But how many of you have got everything that you needed? But when we get there, we find that not all that glittered was gold, and that the road is not by any means as straightforward as we had hoped it would be. we find that there is a big price to pay, many ups and downs, detrimental to our own good, against the will of the Creator, like family life, loss of a parent, carer. When I say loss, I don't mean necessarily death, but loss as in absent. Living in unnatural environments other than which we were created for. Enslavement of the mind, mental or physical. Worse, death. As we have seen many videos after videos, family members reporting anti bannange omwana waffe yagenda mu Buwarabu naye wuuno. I am not condemning anyone who's gone, who's thought that that is the way to go. I'm only saying reconsider. Wealth is not only about the money. You can say we need school fees, I need this, but that's not the only way. If we valued each other and the relationships, we change our mindset that we can start from where we are. I am not condemning anyone or placing blame whatsoever to a particular group. I'm stating that the cycle begins all over again. As that of our forefathers, I know for a fact because I have lived it. The children I care for have lived it. We cannot leave our responsibility to someone else and we hope that they will, just because we're going to, to obtain economic advancement, does not necessarily make it okay. So my question is, when is it all, when all of this, the economic migration, when is it all going to be enough? When are we going to say no more of selling our souls for the love of money, love of things, love of status, love of power, and be grateful for what we have? By really seeing and paying attention to the abundance around us, as our community, as our country, the beauty of us as human beings, as the value. We are the value. We are the brand. Not working many hours that gets you rich or wealthy. You are the value. You are the brand. If each and every one of us carried ourselves with that utmost respect and pride as God, the Creator, made us to be, it should not matter what circumstances, but if we have the confidence as the value, our motherland, the lands, the rains, the sun, the fresh waters, many people can only, dream to have. We've left it to someone else. Like I said, we've left it to someone else, and someone else would definitely take care of it, as we clearly see in our society today. So I propose, let us continue showing up. I propose this. If we can move on. So if I could go back just around leaving our homes, leaving everything, there's this quote: lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. Just because in our environment at home you do not see the evidence of the glitter, it does not mean that there is lack. We need to have abundance in our mindset for us to be able to really believe that there is abundance, and abundance will come. But it can only come by believing in ourselves, by placing value on the self. When you place value on the self, you have a much more clear mind by seeing opportunity in every single situation. So this lack of evidence is not evidence of lack by Jake Ducey should really be something that we practice or we live by. It should also be sort of like an affirmation. You know, for those of you, Abamani maybe affirmations, and you do your affirmations every time to change that mindset of yours to say, I am not okay by just working. Working hard is not the way to go. It's working smart. Just because you clock up 50 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week, it does not necessarily mean that you're going to be rich. As long as your mindset remains the same of lack, ffe tubeerawo tetuyina, bambi ffe tetuyina, bannange tuli baavu. Emirundi emeka gy'okubira abantu be Uganda nga all the time bagamba ffe tuli baavu, ffe tuli balwadde, ne balwaza buli omu, ne bafiirwa buli omu, ne bagenda kuzika buli omu. Every single time. How many times? That is the mindset of lack. Instead of abundance, we are well, we are happy. Ntudde wano mukati, I'm just empewo zimpitamu. Ngenzeko ku nyanja, ngenzeko just to, kulaba bakwano bange. Ndiddeko ku fene today, ndiddeko ku pineapple, ndiddeko ku, how many of you abali mu diaspora but you can't afford a mango or avocado, or you can't afford just the basic fruits, nice, organic. Organic is the most expensive, yet a Uganda tujina in abundance. And what happens sometimes? Okay, it might have changed a little bit. Nayenga, we still have at least a good proportion. Nable to say that tuberamu lamenting, tuberamu lack mindset. I do not have femutuyambe, that victimhood. Because we're saying there's no evidence. Told about evidence. Kubanga tewali kizimbe chimasamasa, or that's lack. That's not necessarily true. The conversations nyingi around, the pandemic. Everyone wants to go back to be self-sufficient. Bagamba, for instance, people in the States, bagamba self-sufficiency. Everyone try to grow your own food. Everyone try to have your little piece of land, buy land and do that, because there's supposed to be a whole new world we're going into, which will make us much richer, because we're just not seeing it. Kubanga tuloza somewhere else is where the abundance is, but we ignore the abundance that we have in our own land. Okay, we move on. Nga tugenda kumpi tuli kumpi concluding kubanga tubadde for about an hour, like as always. The revolutionary spa ebera walk 6:30. I'm hoping tujja kutandika, definitely. I'm sure abamu mwawulidde already. Oba mwawulirako some shows nga ziri ku radio. Don't forget to tune into get UNN /radio. Kuberako programs as well. And so you can listen in. There's a lot of repeats. Just be aware of what's going on, I suppose, all the time. Naye tubebaza nnyo kubeerako all the time. Okubanti you support UNN and the vision. And mainly, tujja wano to share some knowledge, some wisdom, not because we know everything. Tetumanyi everything, not at all. But we're here. That's the bottom line. We are here and we're serving. Not because you asked that we serve, but because we volunteered to serve. But we still appreciate, because not that you have to be on UNN, but you've given your time. That's very important, that we appreciate each other, we compliment, we are grateful, coming from an abundance mindset. every opportunity or every challenge presents an opportunity. And over here ku UNN tuliko opportunity of learning, of knowledge, of there's so many things I didn't know about my country that I now know because of UNN. So thank you all. Naenga, yes, as we go through our last part, concluding, I just want you to, after asking yourself, as a human being, we are human beings, taking each one as a value and not as a burden. Our motherland, which is our identity, if we lose that, what happens to us? I propose, like, let us continue showing up for change, showing up with change, and do our very best. Every single situation, we do our very best. Wherever possible, starting with now, with where you are now, right now. We must not be passers-by. Just like that story in the Bible of a good Samaritan leaving that stranger to bleed to death. I am talking about that which is in your mind, in our mind, that which we ignore, not taking action about our own change, not caring for thy neighbor, not caring for our community, our country. I suggest wherever we are, particularly if in an environment where we are not loving our life, remember, health is wealth. Any sort of tangible money that you see, or pounds, or reals or dollars in your bank account, if you don't have health, how are you going to enjoy them? If you're in the ground 9 feet, how are you going to ground them to enjoy them? And living life to the way God desired and designed, valuing you. So some of the practical ways you could identify whether the life you are living now is the life you would want for the future self, your children and your children's children. Find some time, get some quiet time with yourself, and write down a list of, for instance, what is working well in my situation now and what is not working so well, staying where I am. Reflect on this list truthfully and honestly. Then write down what needs to happen. What must I do to change my situation now? What are the small steps I'm going to take to change my situation? Remember, this show is not necessarily, it's about revolutionary mindset, because it will change the way we think, and we would not have any more sort of people coming into our communities taking advantage, because you will be able to see them from a mile. No, Gamba, no, I am not getting you inside my house to sit down. No, I am not trusting this being because I can read their energy is not good. And this list can be all around areas of your life: political, spiritual, health, family, friendships, your career choices. Just remember, if we can go on to slide 5, I believe. Just remember, as I quote, actually we've said that already. Yeah, let's keep moving on. Just remember, because your life is not what you wish it to be right now, does not mean that this is a permanent situation. If we could go to the last slide, please. And some of the useful tips that you can try and help your mindset to be clear, not foggy, and be clear about the people that you bring into your life, those abusive men, those abusive politicians, those abusive neighbors, those abusive missionaries. You must water your garden. And that is your mind. You need some prayer, genuine prayer. And it's not about gender, let's say, kuba very charismatic or whatever. No, you can have silent prayer. Whatever belief system you are, you need to have gratitude. We need to have gratitude. I sometimes forget. I do forget to be grateful to the people around me that add value you, your worth. What are you worth? You are not worth 1,000 riyals. You are not worth $100. You are not worth this money. You are worth endless. Like, you cannot put a price on your worth, because remember, tuli spirit, we are from God or the higher being or the creator or the almighty. You are worth more than the dollar, the pound, because that's really created by man and it's just a paper. You need to value what you have now. We need to value what we have now. Most of the time tulowooza singa nyina kino, singa nkola kino, singa nyina kino, singa nkola kino, but you don't appreciate what you have now. What do you have now? Oli mu nyumba ya taka. Yes, okay, so what? And guess what? Waliwo abali mu nyumba ya glass, ya gorofa, ya gold, but they are not happy where they are. I remember one little story before we conclude. I remember Murutalo. I'm sure, I think I'm not gonna say my age. Nayenga, I remember Twali Murutalo, of course, 1985 or earlier. And Jajja wange, netutambula from home. Tutambudde for about 8 miles and we walked another so and so miles. Naye during that time, as a child, I felt like that was the best time of my life. Wadde tutambudde tetulina motoka, whatever. But my great grandmother is on a bicycle and being pushed on the bicycle. My grandmothers, we're all walking slowly and they stop and we're playing. We have like 3 or 4 pairs on our bodies. We're being helped to, kusomoka amazi, kutudde no tuderi, netutambula. And my grandmother, may her soul rest in peace, she was a very clever woman, didn't have any education. Teyalina kusoma kwonna, no formal education, but I can tell you, yakuza over maybe 30 or 40. Because with her own children and her husband's children, and on top of that, children of her sisters or whoever, and grandchildren, over 30 or 40 of us, tuli fed by this woman, powerful woman. And she had never stepped into a class, a formal education. What does that mean? Oboina degrees, oboina PhDs, oboina however much education joina, it does not matter. What matters is that the background you're coming from, you value yourself, your worth, you value what you have now. My grandmother used everything she had right now. Netuzimbe nyumba yetaka, and guess what? We made beds from some, emiti nazimba ebitanda. Teyalina genda mu some shopping mall kugula bitanda ebyo, nazimba ebitanda from miti. Just the basics, and we would fetch water in some, probably, in Temwezinywera, whatever, because there was never a river or something close by. Nayenga, we lived. I remember those being my most happiest times. Nayenga, As I conclude, remember Twina Get Off the Hook tonight with Prince Chimbugwe. Don't forget to find us on Twitter. Don't forget, because you can watch the live as well on Twitter, on radio, on YouTube, on what else? On, of course, UNN Times. You know, check out our website to be able to read the latest news, and also hopefully we'll have more programs on UNN with variety of hosts and presenters. I've actually 1 or 2 topics, but I appreciate you all. If we could just conclude with the last slide, get off the hook, remember, tonight. So value what you have now, value your relationships. Remember, I would like to thank the Almighty for wisdom. Be thankful, be grateful, and the will to action all of us. I pray for all of us. Knowledge is not power. Please listen. Knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. One last thing, thought. Miracles are within our everyday actions, not from above. We are the miracle that we are looking for. You are the miracle somebody else is looking for. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching Revolutionary Spa with your host, Sophia Sebi, and I wish you all a very good evening, good night, and a good weekend. Good morning, wherever you are. Ciao. Bye.